everyone, welcome back. I'm Jeremy, a producer at LiveX, and I've talked a lot about VVCR Basic, but now I'm going to pivot to a feature that's only in VVCR Enterprise, and it's called Production Module. Production Module is our way of spinning up a virtual machine in the cloud that runs vMix, and it happens quickly and it configures itself, so it's a really powerful feature. Let's show you how it's done. So I'm here in my VVCR Enterprise account, and keep that in mind, a lot of the videos we've been doing here for VVCR Basic as well, but this is only an Enterprise feature. And you can tell I'm on my Enterprise account because I also have DVR, Clip and Post, and Production down here. So let's click on Production to get started with the Production module. I'm going to start up here with Add vMix Instance. You can see we've already done this quite a bit. And for name, I'll do, vid 123. It doesn't matter, but I do need a short name. It doesn't do anything over 8 characters. For cluster, I have 2 here. This will be named according to your own setup. I'm going to choose East Coast Transcoder because this is a cluster that has NDI available, and I am going to use that feature. For instance type, here is where you can really modify how powerful you need your instance to be. So for a G4DN X large, I would really only use this for really basic features like maybe doing a video playback or maybe a zoom capture. A 2X large, you can do maybe a larger playback, maybe a few vMix callers, but I mostly use a 4X large. Now, the amount of power you pick here does determine how much you're going to pay hourly. But for a 4X large, this is really a sweet spot for most productions, I find. So it's pretty hard to overwhelm a 4X large, unless you're doing really intense esports or incredibly involved graphics is when you need an 8X large. So I'm going to click on 4X large, and I'm not going to modify my Windows password. I'll just keep that there. So I'm going to click on Save here. And once I click on that, you see my status starts going. It says initializing. And this status is going to be updating throughout the process of creating this cluster. So in the backend right now, our VVCR is booting up an instance in EC2, it's configuring it, it installs all the drivers you need, it installs all the programs you need. So this process might take a little while. You might expect this to take 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how big your instance is and what the other activity is in your region. So I'm going to let this pass, and I will come back once it is initialized. All right, and we're back. That took about 7 or 8 minutes there. Not too bad. So here you can see a few things. First, it gave me a host name here, but if I refresh this, it's going to give me a better DNS name here. So for example, if I open up vMix and want to open up the web portal, I'll be able to use this host name as a way to get into the web portal, assuming my security group is set up correctly to receive that port's traffic. Now, when we want to access this, there's a few ways we can do it. We can use the host name here and just use remote desktop, but we have Parsec set up, and this is really where the nice part comes in. So if I just go Parsec here, you'll see we have a bunch of these on our account, but all I need to do is look for the one that says vid123. Here it is, and I'll click connect. And this is the first time I've clicked connect. It'll boot up into a full screen window here. And now I need to type in my password here. Unfortunately, I can't copy and paste it. So I'm going to type this in and I'll come right back. All right, and I put my password in here. I'm going to be able to change this when I log in. And it's funny, I picked this default password. I could have picked a different password when I created my instance, but I didn't. So that's what we were left with. All right, and I boot into this and you can see right away that we already have a desktop set up for us. So I'm going to close this PowerShell command. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on Access Manager here. And the first time you do it, it might boot up. It might take a little bit to boot up. It went quickly there. But the reason I want to do this is I want it to recognize my discovery server. And so I'm going to go into advanced here, and we have a discovery server in our VPC. So if I click here on use discovery server, I happen to know this IP address by heart. I've done this so many times here. So now our production module will be recognizing all the NDI sources in our VPC. Now I can open up vMix, and I'm going to do that. You can see I'm using Wi-Fi here, so it's just warning me that I probably shouldn't be doing that next time. And I have a license key already set up, so I'm going to paste that in there and hit OK. So now that vMix is booted up, you can see it's already configured a little bit differently than a default vMix instance would be. So if I go to settings here, we have just some of the more preferable settings in our humble opinion of preview and output color. Your driver is already set up for you, and this is not the default Tesla driver, so this is more optimized for vMix and graphical applications. And everything else is just kind of set up pretty optimally for what we have. So from here on out, I can do a normal session. All I had to do was select my instance name, click start, choose a size, and then just about 10 minutes later, I have a fully working production module in the cloud with little to no configuration. From this point on, as a technical director, you pretty much have a blank canvas to build a show on. Next video, I'll actually show how we add NDI into our VPC to bring into vMix, which is a really powerful workflow. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you found it interesting, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and happy broadcasting.